Snow covered the human research station like a bright white blanket. Inside the main medical room, everything was quiet until the door suddenly opened. A young alien girl named Lyra stepped in. Her skin was light blue, her eyes wide and curious, and her hair glowed softly like tiny stars. She looked nervous but also excited. It was her first time walking into a human medical lab. Human engineer Daniel greeted her with a kind smile. "Don't worry," he said softly. "It's only a simple health scan. It won't hurt." Lyra nodded gently. She trusted Daniel more than any other human. He was calm, friendly, and always talked to her like she mattered. Her species, the Talari, usually avoided humans, but Lyra never believed the scary stories her people told. She felt safe here. Until today, Daniel turned on the scanner. A soft blue light moved across Lyra's body. For a moment everything looked normal. Then the machine beeped loudly. Daniel's smile faded. "That's strange," he whispered. Lyra's heart started beating faster. "Is something wrong?" The scanner flashed red, brighter and brighter, like a warning siren. Strange patterns appeared on the display circles, waves. Lines that moved like a heartbeat. Daniel leaned close to the screen and froze. There was something inside Lyra. Something alive. Something that did not belong there. Lyra saw Daniel's shocked face and covered her chest with her hands. "Wait, inside me? What does that even mean?" Her voice was small and full of fear. Daniel swallowed hard. "Lyra, I don't know yet. But I promise we will find out." Before he could continue, the overhead lights flickered. The whole room shook as if something underground had woken up. The scanner made another long, sharp beep. Lyra felt a strange warmth rising inside her body, right in the center of her chest. A soft glow began to shine under her skin. She stared at her hands and whispered, terrified, "Daniel, I'm glowing." Daniel stepped closer, trying to calm her. "Lyra, stay still. Breathe. Whatever is happening, we will handle it." But inside he felt a cold fear. He had worked with humans and aliens for years, but he had never seen something like this. The glowing wasn't random. It was rhythmic, like a small sun beating inside her. Alarms rang across the hallway. The base commander's voice echoed through the speakers. "Medical Room 3 lockdown activated. Do not leave the area. Doors sealed." Heavy metal shields dropped over the windows. The room became a cage. Lyra took a step back. Her glowing chest pulsed brighter when she moved. "Why are they locking us in? Did I do something wrong?" "No," Daniel said quickly. "You did nothing wrong. They're just being careful." But Lyra could feel it. Something inside her was changing. The scanner screen suddenly showed a clear shape, a core, like a tiny sphere of energy sitting inside her heart space. It moved when she moved. It responded to her emotions. It was not part of her body, yet it was connected deeply. Daniel zoomed in on the reading, and his eyes widened. The energy signature. It looked familiar. Too familiar. It looked like ancient human technology, a type of star core energy that humans used thousands of years ago, before the fall of the first human empire. Technology that was believed lost forever. But why was it inside a young alien girl? Daniel's hands shook slightly as he tried to understand the data. The patterns on the screen weren't random. They were forming symbols. Lyra's glow matched the same rhythm. Lyra hugged her arms tightly. "Daniel, what is happening to me?" "I don't know," he said honestly. "But I won't let anything hurt you." The room lights dimmed again. The scanner beeped louder. Lyra's glowing chest flashed one more time, then everything went dark. For a second, there was only silence. Then a whisper echoed in Daniel's mind. But it wasn't his voice, and it didn't come from Lyra's mouth. It came from inside her. A soft, gentle, ancient voice. Awakened. At last, Daniel stepped back, shock freezing him in place. Lyra looked terrified and confused at the same time. The glow inside her chest brightened once more. Like a heartbeat of pure light, the human base outside grew silent. Everyone felt something powerful had been awakened. Daniel slowly whispered, "Lyra." Whoever spoke. "Wasn't it you?" Lyra shook her head, trembling. "No. I didn't say anything." And the glow inside her pulsed again, almost like it was answering. When the lights finally returned, the glowing inside Lyra's chest slowly faded, but the fear did not. Daniel moved closer to her, watching her face carefully. She looked shaken, almost frozen from the shock. "Lyra, are you feeling okay?" he asked softly. She nodded, but it was a weak, confused nod. "I heard something, but it was not me. It felt old, like someone else is inside me." Daniel took a slow breath. He had to stay calm for her. "We will find out. I promise." The medical room door unlocked with a heavy click. Commander Ryle entered with 2 guards. He looked serious, worried, and ready to make quick decisions. "What happened in here?" Ryle demanded, looking at the scanner's strange glow still lingering on the screen. Daniel stepped forward. "Sir, she's not dangerous." Something reacted inside her. "But she is not a threat." Lyra lowered her head, scared. Ryle stared at her with sharp eyes, as if trying to understand the puzzle. "Run the internal scan again," he ordered. Daniel refused. "Sir, the first scan nearly overloaded the system. We need time to understand what we saw." Ryle walked closer to Lyra. "What did you feel when the light appeared?" Lyra swallowed, unsure if she should speak. But Daniel nodded gently, giving her confidence. "It felt warm, like someone touched my heart from inside. Then I heard a voice. It sounded human, but also not human." Ryle raised an eyebrow. "A voice?" She nodded. "It said, 'Awakened.'" At last, the commander's face changed. Not fear recognition. Daniel noticed it instantly. "Sir, you know something." Ryle did not answer. Instead, he ordered the guards to secure the room. Everything felt heavier, more secretive, like something big was being hidden. Daniel turned to Lyra. "Tell me, did your people ever say humans place things inside Talari children? Or anything like that?" Lyra shook her head fast. "No, the Talari avoid humans. They say humans are dangerous, unpredictable. They would never let humans near our children." Daniel leaned closer. "Then how did it get inside you?" Lyra's eyes filled with fear. I don't know. I don't even know my real parents." Daniel froze. "You're adopted?" Lyra nodded. "My adoptive mother found me near a crashed ship when I was a baby. The ship had strange marks. She said the storm nearly destroyed it. She never talked about it again." Daniel felt a deep chill. "Do you remember anything about that ship?" Lyra shook her head. "Only that the metal looked old. Very old." Ryle stepped forward now, his voice low. "Show me this symbol on the ship." "Can you draw it?" Lyra hesitated but nodded. Daniel handed her a stylus and a clear board. Her hand trembled as she drew a symbol, a circle with 3 lines inside, glowing faintly in her memory. Daniel's eyes widened. He had seen this symbol before. In old human files, forbidden research papers about the first human empire and their lost technology. Ryle recognized it too. He looked at Daniel sharply. "You know what this means?" Daniel whispered, "It's from Project Starseed." Lyra looked up. "What is Starseed?" Daniel hesitated, but Ryle answered for him. Starseed was an ancient human experiment. They created tiny living energy cores to save dying planets. These cores needed a living host to survive. Lyra froze. Host? You mean me?" Daniel stepped forward quickly. "It doesn't mean you're in danger. It just means the core bonded with you when you were a baby. But why me? She whispered. No idea, Daniel said softly. But we need to find out. Suddenly the scanner lit up again, without anyone touching it. The energy reading showed movement, soft, faint waves coming from Lyra's chest. Daniel stared at the screen. It's responding to your emotions, Lyra. When you're scared, it pulses faster. And when you speak, Commander Ryle added, it seems to. Listen, Lyra felt her legs shake. Daniel, I don't want something inside me. He placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. I know, but whatever it is, it has not harmed you. Maybe it's waiting. Maybe it wants to show you something. Ryle looked at both of them. We cannot stay here. The more it awakens, the more signals it sends. If something is listening out there. Daniel finished the sentence for him. They will come for her. Lyra stepped back, fear rising again. Who will come? Daniel gave a serious, heavy answer. Anyone who knows what the starseed can do. Anyone who wants its power. The scanner beeped loudly. A new symbol formed on the screen, bright, glowing. An unmistakable dot. It was a map dot leading to somewhere humans once built. And abandoned thousands of years ago. Daniel stared in shock. It's showing us where it came from. Lyra whispered, trembling. Then we have to go there. Right? Daniel looked at her with determination. Yes, because that place might hold your answers. The small map glowing on the scanner felt unreal. Lyra stared at it, her chest rising and falling quickly, the soft light inside her body flickering like a restless fire. Daniel leaned closer, tracing the map with his finger. This location. He whispered. It's not on any modern star chart. It must be ancient. Commander Ryle stepped beside him. Ancient human ruins. Maybe even pre-Empire. Lyra didn't move. She kept her hand over her chest as if trying to calm the energy inside. It was warm, comforting, but confusing. Why would it show this now? She whispered. Daniel looked at her gently. Because it wants you to go there. Lyra stepped back. But I'm not a hero. I'm just. May, Ryle's voice was firm. Whatever is inside you doesn't think so. Before anyone could say another word, the scanner beeped again. But this time, the lights dimmed throughout the station. A cold wind blew through the metal vents. Even though no windows were open, Lyra felt something strange. It was like a soft whisper brushing her ears. But there was no sound. Then suddenly symbols appeared in the air, not on the screen. Not projected. Floating in the empty air around her. Small glowing shapes that twisted like living fireflies. Daniel gasped. It's projecting. Through her? Lyra stared at the floating symbols. She could somehow understand them, not as words, but as feelings. Each symbol carried a meaning, a direction, a memory. Her vision blurred, the world around her faded, then everything changed. Lyra's vision, she was standing in a huge hall made of white stone. Stars floated above her in a giant dome. Thousands of ancient humans moved around, wearing silver suits, carrying bright spheres in their hands, the same energy she carried inside her chest. A tall figure stepped forward. A human woman with glowing lines on her skin, like she was half energy herself. The woman looked at Lyra with gentle eyes. Little one, do not fear the seed. You were chosen. Lyra tried to speak, but her voice didn't work. The woman continued. The serpents are coming. We made the starseed to stop them. Only a pure-hearted soul can carry it safely. The hall cracked like breaking glass, and Lyra fell back into the real world. Back in the station, she gasped loudly and grabbed the edge of the table. Daniel rushed to her. Lyra, what happened? Her eyes were still shining with the last trace of the vision. I saw humans. Ancient ones. They were different. They created the seed. And they knew about me. Ryle frowned. That's impossible. Humans didn't exist when her people evolved. But Daniel looked at Lyra with new understanding. The seed holds memories. When it awakened, it shared them with her. Lyra shook her head hard. No, it showed me more. Something dangerous is coming. Something called the serpents. Ryle froze. Serpents? You mean the void serpents? Daniel's blood ran cold. There were old stories, dark stories, about giant creatures that ate stars and traveled through empty space like shadows. Everyone thought they were legends. Lyra spoke again, her voice small. The humans made the starseed to fight them. And they said, "They are returning." Silence filled the room. A heavy, cold silence. Daniel finally asked, why would the starseed choose a Talari girl? Why not a human? Lyra hugged herself tightly. Because humans died in the ancient war. The woman in the vision said the seed needed someone pure. Someone who feels the universe like a living thing. Ryle turned away, thinking hard. If the serpents really sensed the awakening, they will come here. Daniel placed his hands on Lyra's shoulders. Listen to me. You are not alone. We will protect you. Lyra looked up at him, her eyes trembling. But what if I'm the reason they come? What if everyone gets hurt because of me? Daniel shook his head. Lyra, you didn't choose this. But you are the only one who can understand it. And we need your help. Before she could answer, the lights flickered again. A deep humming sound filled the walls. Like something huge was moving far above the station. Ryle checked his communicator. His face went pale. Something just appeared in the sky above us. Daniel's voice tightened. Is it a ship? No, Ryle whispered. It's a shadow. Lyra felt her chest glow again, reacting to whatever was outside. Daniel grabbed her hand. We need to get you to the upper deck, now. They ran through the hallway as alarms began to scream. Lyra looked out the window while running and saw a massive shape drifting through the clouds, long and dark. Like a giant cosmic creature sliding above the station. Her chest glowed brighter. Daniel whispered, Lyra. It's reacting again, she whispered back. It's calling me. The alarms continued to echo through the station as Daniel pulled Lyra down the metal hallway. Red lights flashed along the walls, making every shadow look alive. Lyra's chest flickered like a small star trapped inside her body. She held Daniel's hand tightly, afraid the light would burst out again. Commander Ryle ran behind them, shouting into his communicator. Seal all exits. No one leaves the station without my command. The ground shook beneath their feet. It felt like something massive was brushing against the station from the outside, like a giant creature testing the walls. Daniel glanced at Lyra. Does the seed feel afraid? Lyra shook her head. Not afraid, but awake, like it knows what's outside. Ryle caught up to them. His face was pale. Satellite scans show a large shape above us. No engine signals. No metal. It's alive. Lyra whispered. The serpents. No one corrected her. Entering the lower tunnels, Daniel pushed open a heavy door, leading them into an old underground tunnel. The air here was colder, thicker, and lit only by soft blue floor lights. The tunnel walls were older than the station itself, made of strange stone, carved with symbols that no one had touched for decades. This section was built on top of ancient ruins, Daniel explained. But we never explored everything, Ryle added, because some doors never opened. Not even with human tools. Lyra stopped walking. She felt something pulling her, like a soft whisper calling her name. Not through her ears, through her chest. Daniel, she said softly, the seed wants me to go that way. She pointed toward the darkest part of the tunnel, where the light barely reached. Daniel looked uneasy. Lyra, you don't have to. Yes, I do, she said with surprising strength. The three of them walked deeper into the tunnel. The air felt ancient, untouched for thousands of years. The walls started to glow faintly as Lyra passed, like her presence was waking them up after a long sleep. Ryle whispered, "This isn't Talari design. This is human. Very old human." Daniel nodded. Pre-Empire. Before humans even made colonies. Lyra placed her hand on one wall. A symbol lit up under her palm. She stepped back quickly. Daniel stared. "Lyra, you opened it." The hidden door, a large stone door, slowly cracked open, releasing a gust of warm air. Lights inside the room activated one by one, forming a long path into a strange chamber. The walls were filled with carvings of stars, planets, and strange serpent shapes. In the center stood a huge metallic arch, half buried in old dust. Lyra's chest glowed brighter, matching the arch's faint blue symbols. Daniel whispered, "This is a star chamber." Ryle frowned. "Star chamber?" Daniel nodded. Ancient humans built these to hold the first star seeds. Lyra stepped closer to the arch. Something inside her responded, pulling her forward like a magnet. She touched the cold metal dot. The arch lit up completely. A deep hum filled the chamber. "The ground vibrat dot," Lyra gasped. "It's speaking again." Daniel moved to her side. "What does it say?" Lyra closed her eyes. The seed inside her pulsed softly, sending warmth through her body. Then she heard it, the same gentle ancient voice from her vision. "Child of Talari, you carry the last seed." Lyra repeated the words aloud, her voice shaking. Daniel and Ryle exchanged shocked looks. The voice continued inside her. "The serpents return. They sense the light. They hunger for stars. Only you may unlock the gate of balance." Lyra's eyes opened wide. "The seed wants me to open something." "A gate," Ryle shouted. "A gate to what?" But before she could answer, the chamber walls began to shake violently. Dust fell from the ceiling. The huge arch lit up like a sunrise, and something outside roared a deep, monstrous rumble that did not belong to any machine or animal. It felt like the sound of a giant star dying. Daniel grabbed Lyra's arm. "We need to get out now." But Lyra didn't move. Her body was frozen by the glowing energy. Her eyes were locked on the arch as a pattern slowly formed in its center like swirling stars, gathering into a portal. Ryle shouted, "It's reacting to her." "Shut it down." "We can't," Daniel yelled. "It only listens to her." The chamber continued to shake. A crack ran across the ceiling. Lyra finally stepped back as the arch grew brighter and brighter until it hurt to look at. She whispered, "The gate is waking. Just like the seed." Daniel's eyes widened. "Lyra, what does that mean?" She swallowed hard. "It means this place was waiting for me." A loud boom echoed from outside the chamber, like something massive landing on the station roof. Dust rained from above. Ryle shouted, "The serpents are here." Lyra's chest glowed like a sun, brighter than ever before. The ancient voice whispered inside her again, "Open the way. Choose the path, or all worlds fall." Lyra's fear turned into determination. She looked at Daniel. "Then we have no choice. We must follow the gate." The ground trembled again, and dust drifted down from the ceiling like falling snow. Lyra stood in front of the glowing arch with wide, frightened eyes. Her chest pulsed with bright golden light, matching the rhythm of the ancient machine. Daniel grabbed her shoulders, trying to pull her back, but the energy around her felt like an invisible wall. "Lyra, look at me," he said urgently. "You don't have to go inside the gate yet. We don't know what's on the other side." She shook her head slowly. "Daniel, the seed is talking louder now. It says the truth is in this place. If I don't open the gate, everything will be lost." Commander Ryle looked around, his jaw tight. "Lost how? What will happen?" Lyra listened to the voice inside her chest again. It was gentle, warm, and older than any living creature. It whispered like a soft wave brushing her heart. The serpents devour the stars. They smell the seed. They come to claim it. Lyra repeated the words out loud with trembling lips. They want me. Daniel felt cold fear grip his chest. He knew this wasn't a normal threat. This was ancient. This was cosmic. Ryle stepped closer to the arch as strange symbols began forming on the floor around it. The starseed must have been created as a weapon, he muttered. Something humans built to fight the serpents. Lyra immediately shook her head. No, it's not a weapon. Not the way you think. How do you know? Daniel asked. Because it showed me memories, she said, her voice trembling but steady. Ancient humans didn't want to destroy. They wanted to heal. She placed her hand on her chest and closed her eyes. The chamber lights flickered again. Suddenly, the entire room filled with projected images, memories from the starseeds. Core, the starseed's memory of vast planet dying under a red sky. Forests collapsing into the ground. Oceans drying into cracked deserts. A huge serpent shadow passing across the atmosphere like night itself. Then humans appeared. Not the humans of today, but taller, glowing with soft energy lines in their skin. Wearing white armor that shimmered like stars. They stood around a giant blue sphere, the first starseed, a woman. The same one Lyra saw earlier, placed her hands on the glowing core. Life must not fall to darkness. Let the seed carry the light. Dozens of humans infused the seed with their energy. It transformed into a bright star-like sphere. Then the memory broke apart like shattered glass. Back to the chamber. Lyra gasped and stumbled forward. Daniel caught her just before she fell. Ryle's face had changed completely. They created something to save worlds, not destroy them. Daniel nodded, touching Lyra's arm gently. And they trusted it to someone pure-hearted. Someone who could guide it, not use it for power. Lyra looked down. But why me? I'm not special. Daniel lifted her chin softly. Maybe you are. Maybe you were chosen because you care. Because you feel everything deeply. Ryle interrupted. Feelings won't stop a serpent. We need a plan. As if responding to his words, the arch emitted a deep vibration. The swirling lights inside the gate grew stronger. Lyra stared at it. The seed says this gate leads to the heart of the ruins. It holds more answers. It holds the instructions. Daniel frowned. Instructions for what? Lyra placed her palm on her glowing chest. How to use the starseed. How to activate its full power. Ryle stepped back, shocked. Does that mean you could stop the serpents? Lyra didn't answer immediately. She listened to the voice again. It whispered something new, something frightening. But power comes with cost. Lyra's face went pale. Daniel instantly saw her fear. Lyra, what cost? She shook her head. I don't know. It won't show me yet. The ground shook again, harder this time. A deep roar came from above the chamber, like a giant beast scraping across the station roof. Ryle shouted, We don't have time. The serpent is directly above us. Suddenly sparks burst from the ceiling. A long crack opened, and cold wind rushed in. The entire chamber trembled like it was about to collapse. Daniel grabbed Lyra. We need to move. No, she whispered. The gate is opening. The swirling lights inside the arch grew brighter, forming a soft blue tunnel. It looked alive like a bridge made of pure energy. Lyra stepped forward, her eyes fixed on the gate. Daniel pulled her back. Lyra, stop. We don't know what's inside. But she gently slipped out of his hands. I have to go. The seed says the truth is waiting for me. Ryle raised his weapon. Daniel, if she goes alone, she might die in there. Daniel stepped in front of the commander. And if she doesn't go, we all might die. Lyra turned back to them with a small, brave smile. Please trust me. The gate hummed loudly, calling her. Cold shadows from above fell through the cracks as the serpent's massive tail slid across the station roof. Daniel reached out one last time, but she had already stepped inside. A flash of light swallowed her. Gate sealed behind her. And the chamber fell silent. When Lyra vanished into the gate, the chamber shook violently as if the entire world was collapsing around Daniel and Commander Ryle. Pieces of stone fell from the ceiling. The glowing arch dimmed, then pulsed once before turning quiet like a sleeping star. Daniel stepped back in shock. Lyra, can you hear me? But there was no sound, only the growling rumble of something massive sliding over the station roof. Ryle pulled Daniel away just before another piece of stone crashed down. She's gone, Ryle said, breathless. We need to get out of here. Daniel pushed his arm away. No, I'm not leaving her. Ryle looked at him sharply. Then we protect the gate. If those creatures get to it, they'll follow her inside. Before Daniel could answer, a deafening roar shook the chamber. Like thunder exploding from the sky, the serpent had arrived. Outside the chamber, the station's entire structure trembled. Sirens screamed. Red lights flashed everywhere. Soldiers rushed through the corridors with fear in their eyes. The shadow outside was bigger than anything the human base had ever seen. Commander, Ryle shouted orders through his communicator. All units, defensive shields to maximum. Evacuate non-essential personnel. Daniel looked at the ceiling as a massive dent formed above them. Something was pressing down, something alive. The serpent's tail lashed across the roof, ripping through steel like paper. Soldiers fired energy weapons upward, but the blasts bounced off the creature's scales like tiny sparks. Daniel whispered, "We're not strong enough." Ryle answered bitterly, "These creatures eat stars. What chance do we have?" Another roar echoed, vibrating through the floor, and deeper inside the station. Lyra's chest glow returned. Inside the gate, Lyra stood in a long hallway made of shimmering light. The walls were not stone or metal, they were pure energy, moving like gentle waves. The air felt warm and peaceful, completely opposite from the chaos outside. Her chest glowed like a small sun, brighter than ever before. "Where am I?" she whispered. The ancient voice replied inside her, "The heart of the starseeds. A place between worlds." Lyra walked forward slowly. Her feet didn't touch the ground. She floated slightly with each step. Symbols formed around her, swirling like soft fire. She touched one, and a memory appeared, an ancient human city filled with glowing towers. She reached another symbol, and saw a star turning dark. Swallowed by a giant shadow, the serpents. Lyra trembled. How do I stop them? The symbols formed into a circle in front of her. A warm breeze moved through her hair. Then the voice whispered, "The seed inside you can grow. It can become a shield, a sun, a light that serpents fear." Lyra felt fear twist inside her chest. "But how do I use it? I'm not strong." "No," the voice said gently, "but your heart is. You care for all life. That is why the seed chose you." Her eyes filled with tears. "But I'm only a child." The symbols gathered around her like protective wings. Children carry the purest light. Suddenly the hallway shook violently. A dark crack appeared in the glowing floor. Lyra gasped. "They're breaking in. The serpents are close." The voice whispered urgently, "You must hurry. Go to the core. Unlock the seed's true form." The hallway opened into a huge chamber shaped like a star. A floating orb of blue energy larger than Lyra hovered in the center. The starseed core. Lyra stepped forward, her heart racing. The seed inside her chest reacted, glowing brighter and brighter, But the chamber cracked. Again, the serpents were trying to break through the gate. Back at the station, Daniel and Ryle stood at the base of the arch as dust rained over them. The serpent's head smashed through the upper ceiling, revealing enormous glowing eyes and rows of sharp, star-shaped teeth. The creature hissed, its voice echoing like broken thunder. Daniel froze, unable to move. "Ryle, it's going to kill us." Ryle grabbed Daniel's arm. "We don't let it pass the gate. If it follows the girl, she's dead." The serpent pushed farther down, its head almost reaching the chamber. Soldiers fired nonstop, but their guns barely scratched its scales. Daniel grabbed a fallen energy rifle and fired too. But the blasts were useless. Then something changed. The arch behind them began to glow. Daniel turned. "Lyra. She's doing something." The serpent roared and lunged downward. Ryle shoved Daniel aside as the creature's massive jaws slammed into the floor where they stood. "Keep firing." Ryle shouted to the soldiers. They fired everything they had, but nothing worked. Inside the star chamber, Lyra reached the massive glowing core. She placed her hands on it. The seed inside her chest pulsed, responding like a living heartbeat. The ancient voice spoke one final time. "Let your light rise." Lyra closed her eyes and whispered, "Please, help me save them." Her body erupted with blinding gold light. The starseed inside her awakened fully, back in the chamber. The arch exploded with a burst of pure white energy. The serpent recoiled, screaming in pain. Daniel covered his eyes. Ryle stumbled back. Soldiers. Frozen shock. A beam of golden light shot out of the gate, and something stepped forward, a small silhouette, glowing like a newborn star. Lyra. But not like before. She was floating slightly above the ground, her eyes shining bright gold. Daniel whispered, stunned, "Lyra, what have you become?" The golden light around Lyra grew brighter with every heartbeat. She floated a few inches above the broken chamber floor, her eyes glowing like twin suns. Small waves of energy spread outward from her body, rolling gently like warm wind. Daniel stared at her in shock and awe. "Lyra, is that really you?" She looked at him, and for a moment, the glow softened. Her voice was still her own, small, gentle, but layered with something ancient. "Yes, it's me, Daniel. But the seed is awake now." The serpent above them let out a thunderous scream. Its huge head pushed deeper into the chamber, shaking the pillars. Its eyes, burning like dark suns, focused on Lyra. It hated her light. Commander Ryle shouted, "Lyra, get back. It's coming for you." But Lyra didn't run. She didn't hide. She stepped forward. Her feet gently touched the ground, then lifted again as she floated upward, rising like a tiny golden star. Daniel felt his heart race. "Lyra, don't do this alone." She smiled sadly. "I won't be alone. The seed is with me." The serpent roared again, a deep sound that made the air shake. It lunged toward her with its giant jaw open wide. Daniel shouted her name. Ryle fired his blaster. Soldiers ran, but Lyra raised her hand, just one small hand. A sphere of golden light burst from her palm, hitting the serpent in the face. The creature recoiled, screaming as its scales burned like heated metal. The chamber filled with blinding light. Daniel shielded his eyes. "Lyra, how are you doing this?" She whispered, "I don't know. But the seed says this is what it was made for. To protect life." The serpent thrashed wildly, smashing its tail and claws through the ceiling. The entire station shook like it might crumble. Ryle grabbed Daniel's shoulder. "We need to evacuate. This place won't hold." But Daniel refused. "I won't leave her." The serpent lunged again, pushing half its massive body into the chamber. Its mouth opened, darkness swirling inside like a black hole. Lyra floated higher, her glow turning bright white. She placed both hands forward. "This ends now. A powerful beam of pure light burst from her chest, not hot, not violent, but bright and soft, like the warmth of a rising sun. The beam hit the serpent full force. The creature screamed. Its shadowy skin cracked, and golden lines spread across its massive body. It writhed violently, pulling back and smashing into the ceiling as it tried to escape. But Lyra didn't let it. She whispered gently, "Rest now. Darkness has taken enough." The serpent's body began to dissolve into dust, bright, glowing dust that floated into the air like fireflies. Then silence. The giant beast was gone. The entire chamber relaxed, as if the walls themselves were taking a breath of relief. Daniel stepped forward slowly, his legs shaking. "Lyra, is it over?" She turned to him. The glow around her began to fade, little by little. Her feet touched the ground. Her eyes dimmed back to their normal soft blue. "It is over," she whispered. "The serpent is gone." But then she swayed. Her legs trembled. Daniel rushed to her, catching her just before she fell. "Lyra, stay awake." She gave a weak smile. "I'm okay. Just tired." The seed used too much energy. Commander Ryle approached, lowering his weapon. "You saved the whole station. Maybe even the whole planet." Lyra shook her head lightly. "Not me alone. The ancient humans, the seed, and Daniel. I didn't do it alone." Daniel hugged her gently. "Lyra, I'm proud of you. More than you know." The arch behind them suddenly pulsed one last time and slowly shut itself down, sealing the gate completely. The symbols faded from the walls. The ancient star chamber finally fell silent. Later, on the surface, the storm above the station cleared. Warm light from the nearest star shone down through the clouds. Soldiers helped repair the damage. Medics treated the injured. Life slowly returned to normal. Daniel sat with Lyra on a small bench near the station's entrance, wrapped in a soft blanket. She leaned against his arm, tired but smiling. Ryle approached them. "The council wants to meet her. They call her the Star-born Child." Lyra blushed softly. "I'm not special." Daniel smiled. "Lyra, you saved an entire world. If that's not special, I don't know what is." She looked up at him shyly. "Does this mean I'm part human now?" Daniel shook his head gently. "No, it means you're part of something bigger." She tilted her head. "What?" Daniel placed a hand on her shoulder. "Part of the heroes who came before us, and part of the hope of every world that will come after." Lyra looked at the sky, where the clouds parted like golden curtains. Her chest glowed faintly. "Warm and safe. Then I'll protect them," she whispered. "All of them. Just like they protected me." Daniel smiled softly, and the galaxy, just a little brighter now, seemed to smile back.